you are able to acquire a club for £4.2 billion and are able to spend £1 billion and more on players and staff. And at this point in time, you're not getting the results that you have invested in. Would you be a happy Todd Boehly and Eghbali? That's a question I'm asking. For most Chelsea fans, this is very, very significant because, of course, the Clear Lake Group bought the club in May 2022. They made huge investments in there. For £4.25 billion, they bought the Chelsea club and then, of course, spent more than £1 billion on players and staff. They have sacked 3 managers already, just under 2 years. My name is Felix Edudakwa. Join me as I walk you down the journey of Chelsea under Graham Potter and, of course, under Mauricio Pochettino as it stands. Now, we cannot make comparisons because, of course, each of the managers have now played 31 games. So for Graham Potter, he had 31 games in charge of Chelsea before he was booted out. And then Frank Lampard was brought in before Mauricio Pochettino was introduced in there permanently to help the Chelsea crisis. When Graham Potter was asked to step out, Chelsea were 11th on the Premier League log. That is the same position that they occupy on the log now. So if I show you the Premier League log, Chelsea are now in the bottom half of the Premier League table. Not so good for Chelsea. The records show that the two managers are very similar. So for Graham Potter and for Mauricio Pochettino, their records are very similar according to the numbers. I repeat, I'm only telling you this according to the numbers. The style of play has changed. Chelsea are now beginning to improve according to so many of the indices that we use to check the performances. But then, of course, the game in numbers, the game in statistics, the statistics for them, their records are very, very similar. Both managers have lost 11 matches in that period, and then they have all played 31 games as it stands. So Graham Potter has won 12. He had won 12, and Pochettino has won 14, quite a significant 6 points in there. Then Potter had 8 draws, and Pochettino as it stands has 6. They have both managed 11 losses with a win percentage of 38.7% for Graham Potter and appreciating for 45.16% for Mauricio Pochettino. That is where the lines are drawn. Then we come to the last 5 games of Graham Potter. In Graham Potter's last 5 games in charge of Chelsea, he only managed 1 defeat. And then, of course, he had 3 wins, and one of them significantly included that Dortmund win that took Chelsea to the Champions League quarterfinals. And then for Mauricio Pochettino, he, in his last 5 results, he has managed 2 heavy defeats at Anfield and then back at the hands of Wolverhampton Wanderers. 2 wins in there against Luton Town and against Middlesbrough. But then this time round, they are also in a League Cup final. That's positive for all the Chelsea fans in there. They are going to play the final of the League Cup, a chance to win something. Mauricio Pochettino's Chelsea have been able to score more goals than Graham Potter's Chelsea. That's one of the matrices that people are trying to use to sort of argue out the fact that Graham Potter's side was a much reduced side as compared to Pochettino. But in terms of numbers, Pochettino's Chelsea has scored 54 goals. Potter's Chelsea had 33 in there. And then in terms of defensive errors and defensive errors leading to goals, generally Chelsea have conceded 43 goals under Mauricio Pochettino, but they had only 31 goals conceded under Graham Potter. So, but don't be so excited. It only means that Chelsea had a goal difference of +2 under Graham Potter. But as it stands now, if you take 43 out of 54, you're going to get something around 9. So +9 goals in terms of the numbers. Chelsea have grown in terms of the numbers, in terms of goal scoring and goals conceded. +2 under Graham Potter. But as it stands now, they have +9 in terms of goals that they have been able to differ in terms of goals scored and then goals that they have been conceding. all three of Chelsea's managers that have been appointed at the Clear Lake consortium, all three of them have not been able to win enough matches. None of them has a win percentage of around 50%. So Graham Potter had his around 36%. Frank Lampard, 9%. We'll get to Frank Lampard. And then for Mauricio Pochettino, it's just around 45%, which is not so good for them. So here is Frank Lampard. He managed some 11 games. He won 1. He drew 2 of them. And then he lost 8 with a win percentage of 9. That's according to Sky Sports. All the credits to them for this one. Under Pochettino, 13 players have been recruited. It means that Chelsea have spent a lot on player recruitment with more than £400 million in the summer. Chelsea spent a lot in the summer. But then, under Potter, Chelsea had also signed to the tune of £500 million worth of players in both transfer windows. So under Potter, in both the summer and the winter transfer, cumulatively, they were around £500 million. So it means that Chelsea have been signing a lot of players under Todd Boehly. Don't forget that Moises Caicedo is in there for £150 million from Brighton. They've got Enzo Fernandez for around £107 million from Benfica. Mikhailo Mudryk around £89 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. And of course, Wesley Fofana, Marco Cucurella. I mean, a lot of names in there. Romeo Lavia didn't come in for cheap. Nkunku is there. Raheem Sterling, Axel Disas. A lot of names can be mentioned. A lot of names which correspond to high spendings in the transfer market. But what really is the problem? What really is going down not so well with Chelsea, which is not able to translate into a lot of results for them? The first thing is the problem of injuries. Injuries have really cost Chelsea. Like, for example, captain of the side, Reece James, has only managed 8 Premier League games this season. So the whole of this season, Reece James has managed 8 Premier League games. For the rest of the games, he's out due to injury, or he has been out due to injury. So there have been an average of 8 to 12 players who are injured almost every match week. So a selection problem for the coach, number one. And of course, the availability of the players too are not there. They are not there to be selected in the first place. And another issue which also contributes to the injuries is because the whole medical department has been overhauled. So for the past 18 months, Chelsea had overhauled their whole medical department, and with several of their long-serving employees have been discarded, and they have brought in new ones. And of course, with that wholesale change, I mean, that's tantamount to some sort of problems regarding their medical situation and conditioning of the players in particular. This is not to suggest that the medical team may have caused an injury problem or upset at Chelsea. I'm just trying to point out to the fact that you don't overhaul a team that has been around for a very long time, including one of their very Paco Biosca, who has been around the club since around 2011. So he spent more than a decade here at the club at Chelsea, and the overhauling gets him. I mean, it's natural for people to move every now and then, but then these are also some of the factors that have caused Chelsea's performance coming down. So hey, if you're a Chelsea fan assistant, relax, keep calm. There are lots of things that the management are trying to bring on board, but it will take time. And one of the things that Chelsea fans do not have is patience. I mean, for every ordinary fan, patience is what we don't have. The problem has been, one, the availability of the players in real time. Because if you're averaging 8 to 12 players on every match day absent, that's a huge problem. And including the captain, who has managed 8 appearances in the Premier League for Chelsea this season. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And so for them, the structure with which a coach is trying to get them to play in is also a challenge, because I feel like they still need a lot of adaptations to do. The Chelsea play is too easy to break. It has become so feeble, especially the defense, with the likes of Axel Disasi and Benoit Bediashile causing a lot of errors, including the evergreen Thiago Silva, who's also been there. His wife has come out to say a lot of things, about coaching and all that. But these are all small issues that need to be tackled. they need to be handled well, because where Chelsea is going, as it stands now, 11th on the log, it's not so good for them. Don't forget that they're in the final, but they're in the final against an opposition who beats them at a home background by 4-1. So things get interesting, and want to see things get better for Chelsea. So all the best to Chelsea. We want to see the best from them, but these are things that I thought I should point out to you. Thank you very much for staying throughout this time to be with us. My name is Felix Ejudaka. Don't forget to subscribe to this if you have not, and let's keep growing together.